Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating bit of the digital currency world, Monero XMR.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't just, another crypto. It actually calls itself the private digital currency.
Right. And it makes that bold claim, doesn't it? The only coin that doesn't snitch.
Exactly. And what really jumps out from the sources we looked at is this idea of it being the VPN of crypto,
Yeah, that's a powerful analogy.
promising to keep you, well, truly off the grid. So our mission today is really to explore how Monero even aims to do this extreme privacy.
And what that means.
Yeah, what it means for you and, honestly, the kind of tensions that creates.
And what's quite insightful there is how Monero sets itself up almost as a direct counterpoint,
To the big ones.
Right, like Bitcoin, which it says gets tracked, and then Ethereum, which gets taxed. It's positioning.
It really is. It goes beyond just saying anonymous. It promises no wallet balances, no tracebacks.
Which immediately brings up a big question, right?
Hmm.
How does a digital currency actually get to a point where it supposedly doesn't leave footprints?
Yeah.
And, what are the real world effects of that?
That really is the core of it.
Yeah.
So let's get into the how. Our sources point pretty clearly to two key bits of tech: ring signatures and stealth addresses.
Yes, those are fundamental.
Can you maybe help us understand how these work? How do they deliver on this promise of being untraceable and unlinkable?
Absolutely. So think of ring signatures this way. When you send Monero, your actual transaction signature gets mixed in with a group of others.
Okay. Like decoys.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Legitimate past transaction outputs acting as decoys. So from the outside looking at this group, it becomes mathematically very difficult, practically impossible, to know which one is the actual sender's signature.
Ah, okay.
It's not just hiding who you are, it's making your specific action indistinguishable within a crowd.
So like hiding in a crowd, but a cryptographic one. Got it.
Right.
What about the other piece, stealth addresses? How do they protect the receiver?
Right. Stealth addresses are equally clever, really. For every single payment someone receives, a unique one-time address is generated on the blockchain.
One time only.
One time only for that specific transaction. This means even if someone's watching the blockchain, and you can watch the Monero blockchain, it's public, they won't see multiple payments going to the same visible address.
Yeah.
They can't link payments together to figure out who the recipient is or, crucially, how much they hold in total. It creates a new unlinkable pathway every single time.
Wow, okay. That sounds incredibly thorough. So it's really built from the ground up for this private mode only thing.
That's the design philosophy, yes.
But okay, beyond the technical magic, why? Why is this level of privacy so fundamental for Monero? What's the bigger picture here?
Well, the narrative Monero puts forward strongly emphasizes this idea. Privacy isn't a crime, it's a right. It frames this intense privacy as protection. Protection against nosy trackers, data leaks, and greedy middlemen.
Right.
If you connect that to the larger context, it's really about financial sovereignty, isn't it? In a world where, let's face it, digital tracks are everywhere.
Yeah, everything leaves a trace.
Monero wants to be the alternative, the way to ensure your money can still be yours. Completely untraceable, unlinked. It's a pushback against the idea that every swipe, send, and sent needs to be monitored.
That is a compelling vision, that kind of financial freedom. But as you'd expect, our sources also talk about the downsides, the trade-offs.
Of course.
Monero itself apparently admits it's been used, abused, misunderstood, and even banned again by countries that hate what they can't control. So how do these challenges play out for a currency so focused on privacy?
And that's exactly where the tension really lies. That untraceability, while it's a massive strength for privacy advocates, it undeniably creates headaches for, traditional financial systems and regulators. The very thing that makes it powerful, that it doesn't leave footprints, makes it super difficult for governments.
To track funds for taxes?
Exactly. Taxes, anti-money laundering, counterterrorism financing, all the standard oversight stuff becomes much harder.
Which leads to bans and delistings.
Often, yes. It gets delisted from major exchanges sometimes, or banned outright in certain places. Not always because they assume it's only for bad things, but because that lack of transparency for external observers creates regulatory hurdles they can't easily overcome. It really highlights a fundamental clash, doesn't it? Individual financial privacy versus state oversight and control.
Okay. So, wrapping this up. What does this all mean for you listening? Monero, it paints this really vivid picture, doesn't it? A digital currency purely for stealth, private mode only. It prompts us to protect you from that constant watching based on this deep belief that financial privacy is just a fundamental right.
All right. Not a privilege.
But, as we've discussed, that commitment, that untraceability, while it's empowering for some, it definitely brings complexities. Regulatory friction, it's like it says, it's not here to be famous, but to protect you.
Yeah, and Monero's whole story really brings this core tension into sharp focus.
Yeah.
That desire for absolute financial privacy versus the societal challenges and, frankly, perceptions it generates.
Right.
When a currency says point blank, it's not here to be famous, but exists purely to protect you, to make sure your money can still be yours. It forces you to think hard about the real value of untraceable transactions.
Yeah.
So maybe the provocative thought to leave you with is this. If your money truly leaves no footprints, is that the ultimate expression of financial freedom? Or does it actually create a whole different set of maybe unforeseen complexities for how we govern ourselves and interact with money in this digital future?